Hello, and thank you so much for joining us for KREM 2 News at Noon. I'm Christian Garza. Laura has the afternoon off. Well, it has been a hot week here in the inland Northwest, so let's toss things over to meteorologist Thomas Patrick to see what the rest of the day has in store for us weather-wise.
The heat has been a bit unprecedented to start this month, with record-breaking temperatures 3 days in a row. We're still in the middle of the heat wave, but I think we'll be just shy of records for this afternoon, but not by much. Heat advisories continue today, as well as extreme heat warnings for central Washington, but the range is now a bit closer to 92 to 100 degrees, with Spokane fitting right nicely in the middle of that at about 95. But the secondary weather impact is now the air quality, taking a big hit as of this morning. We saw many areas, especially in northeastern Washington, dropping into unhealthy air quality category. So we are monitoring that very closely today. So again, the heat, hot, but not quite records today. 94 the high today. The record, by the way, is 96. But here's the smoke, and it's literally everywhere across the inland Northwest, and probably just gets worse in the next 24 hours. So just mind that even during the cooler nighttime hours. And we'll be tracking both the duration of the heat wave and the smoky conditions in my full forecast coming up.
Thank you so much, Thomas. Well, new at noon, dozens of union operator members gathered in downtown Spokane, picketing for a new contract. Come take a look at your screen. Here's a look at the protest. This comes almost 4 weeks after local Union 302 went on strike. The move shutting down major construction projects across the inland Northwest, with many predicted to not be completed until next year. For a look at which construction projects are impacted, just visit our website, krem.com. And a heads up when driving today, the City of Spokane says southbound Division Street between Desmet and Cataldo Avenue will be reduced to 2 lanes for a water main repair. So if you're planning to use Division, expect some delays. Well, this week, the heat has been a big focus across the inland Northwest. The weather has even prompted canceling events like the Kendall Yard Night Market and postponing activities like high school soccer games. Now, despite these high temperatures, the City of Spokane has yet to open its cooling centers. KREM 2's Connor McAvoy has more.
A few cars are all to see in the Kendall Yards neighborhood Wednesday night.
I do want a cup or cone.
You'd have to step into a business like The Scoop and get served by Harper Baird to cool off. When the announcement came of the Kendall Yards Night Market's cancellation, he wasn't shocked.
I think it definitely should have happened. It's like we don't want to risk people getting hurt in the heat, especially those who aren't hydrated enough. It's unbearable heat.
Baird's glad he's able to beat the heat while working, but knows others may not have the same resources and need some extra help.
During the time of the year, people don't expect it to be as hot during now, so they are more likely not prepared for that.
Now, the city will only provide what are called inclement weather centers when the temperature index reaches 95 degrees or higher for 2 consecutive days or more. The temperature index quantifies how hot the weather feels to the body by combining air temperature and humidity versus measuring the temperature of the air alone. It's also written a decision can be made by the mayor to open them if they feel it poses a health risk to vulnerable or unsheltered individuals and families. This week, the index hit 94 over the last 3 days, which the city says is why shelters are not implemented. The mayor's office says this is an effort to utilize city resources by not using larger shelters and more specified sites. This comes as Wednesday marks significant temperatures in Spokane, with the National Weather Service reporting 99 degrees at the Spokane International Airport, where weather records are kept.
Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day.
As for Baird, he hopes the city can take more action during hotter days, like what we're seeing on this unusual start to September.
I think with all the resources we do have, because we're such a big city too, we should put something into being able to help people cool down.
That was Connor McAvoy reporting. The mayor's office cited going to sheltermespokane.org for resources on availability for shelter beds. They recommend libraries and park facilities as well for people who need to beat the heat. And as you try to beat the heat, Avista customers in Idaho will see higher rates starting this month. On Monday, electricity rates went up a little over 6%. Natural gas prices are up a little over 1%, so a $100 bill would only go up by about $1. Avista says higher prices for goods and services across the board meant the utility has to raise prices to keep up with network maintenance. So it's important to note, though, Idaho regulators approved this rate increase before President Trump announced his new tariffs. In continuing coverage out of Idaho today, the 4 Idaho officers who shot and killed a Pocatello teenager will not be criminally charged for his death. Victor Perez was shot 9 times by police earlier this year. Officers were responding to a 911 call saying the 17-year-old was intoxicated and attempting to stab family members. Investigators concluded the officer's use of force was justified under Idaho state law, and the Idaho Attorney General's office says the state would be unable to prove beyond a reasonable doubt those officers were not justified. Today, Washington Senator Maria Cantwell joined other U.S. senators in questioning RFK Jr. CBS's Natalie Brand reports what happened on Capitol Hill.
Good morning. Good morning. HHS Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. faced lawmakers amid growing concerns over changes he's made to the nation's top public health agency.
These changes were absolutely necessary adjustments to restore the agency to its role as the world's gold standard public health agency.
The previously scheduled Senate Finance Committee hearing comes a week after the firing of CDC Director Susan Monteras and the resignations of several high-profile agency officials.
We are the sickest country in the world. That's why we have to fire people at CDC.
On behalf of parents and schools and teachers all over the United States of America who deserve so much better than your leadership. That's what this conversation is about, Mr. Chairman.
Senator, they deserve the truth, and that's what we're going to give them for the first time.
The Trump administration has defended Kennedy, even as public health experts sound the alarm over new guidelines restricting eligibility for COVID vaccines and his overhaul of a key vaccine advisory panel.
On Wednesday, a letter from 1,000 current and former HHS staffers called for Secretary Kennedy to step down, arguing his actions are compromising public health. At a rally this morning, Democratic lawmakers, who are also doctors, echoed those concerns.
This is not about Democrats or Republicans. It's about the American healthcare system.
Secretary Kennedy has long argued the CDC is broken and needs to return its focus to infectious disease, invest in innovation, and rebuild trust. Natalie Brand, CBS News, the White House.